Hello from Glebe Island in Sydney. Those of you that know this part of the world, the Anzac Bridge just immediately to my right, your left of screen. What you're looking at in the background is the Tech and Media Centre for SailGP Sydney. Quite a setup, as you can see for yourselves, and it's moved several times over the years, this time up Glebe Island, last time in Barangaroo. So an interesting start, not perhaps quite as planned. No free training yesterday with all the delays from the shipping, but everything else set up for racing. Canadians were out yesterday. Phil Robertson and his team were testing the new T-section foils, which will come out for season 5. They look pretty impressive, titanium and carbon, very, very narrow cambers. If you've seen any of the pictures on them, great for sort of helping reduce cavitation, so probably top speeds quite considerably higher now than above the 50 knots, even possibly up to 59. Gets slightly induced extra lift, of course, early lift. Comes at a bit of a penalty. They're about 80 kilos heavier than the existing ones, but because they're so rigid and have that very narrow section, of course they're producing less resistance. Then there was supposed to be practice racing today, and unfortunately the weather seems to have stymied that one. And at the press conference this morning with all of the skippers, it was announced that practice racing was indeed cancelled for today. That nonetheless allowed the Americans and the Germans to go out and at least just spend a bit of time out there, but even for them there wasn't an awful lot they could learn because there was absolutely no wind at all. However, it looked pretty good up foiling in no wind, largely care of a very large rib, tearing them around the course a few times, so they spent a couple of hours just doing bits of testing of one kind or another, and so that's it until really tomorrow. Tomorrow looks like it's going to deliver plenty. We've had a few SailGPs in a row that have had very little wind, which is rather frustrating. Looking good, well north of 18 knots southerly, possibly higher, remains to be seen, and that'll be kicking in along the way. And then Sunday probably quieter again, so we'll see how we go, but hopefully we'll get 2 days of racing in, unlike last year where the second day had to be cancelled. The series is really in balance at the moment, although the Australians are still leading. Their lead is now smaller, 4 points to the Kiwis, and then further back to the Americans, Danes and others down the line. Be interesting to see how everybody does in a lot of breeze tomorrow, because a lot of them, of course, have not had much recent experience of that, so they'll all be needing to get back into gear pretty swiftly. Probably be an advantage to the Australians, but the Australians themselves are still struggling a bit. Not too many podiums, even though they've been getting into finals. We'll see how we go there. We'll see how the whole thing wraps. We'll be covering the racing for the next couple of days. Look out for interviews in particular, which we'll be doing behind us here at the media mixed zone, hopefully tomorrow and Sunday. Catch you later.